Go. Microphone? Okay, yeah. So,
Wait. I'm the character of She-Bear, Boar, and Aphrodite.
Hi, I'm Elaine and I play Atalanta.
Hi, I'm Jenny, and I play the Millennium Hunter and Malager.
Hi, I'm Angel and I play Artemis Goddess and I'm going to introduce the summary.
Hi, I'm Lydia. I'm narrator.
Hi, I'm Debbie. I act King, Queen, and Uncle.
Hi, I'm Wendy. I play the Goddess of Fate and Uncle.
Okay. Atlanta's dad wants a son, but Atlanta was a girl. So her dad threw Atlanta to the mountain. And Atlanta was brought up by a bear and turned into a strong hunter. And in another country, Caledon, a queen born a baby. The baby's name is Meleager. And a goddess showed up and threw a wood into a fire and said, when the wood turned into the ash, Meleager would die. So his mother was very nervous and put the fire off so that her son will live. And when Atlanta grew up and he rediscovered by her father, and her father wanted her to marry, but she only agreed to marry the man who can run faster than her. And those who lost will be killed. And his father agreed, and many young men died in an attempt until Hippomenes came along. And Hippomenes asked the goddess Aphrodite to help, and she gave him 3 golden apples to slow Atlanta down. And every time when Atlanta got ahead of Hippomenes, Hippomenes will roll an apple ahead for her, and she would run after it. And in this way, Hippomenes won, and they got married. And there's another story. When Artemis was forgotten at a sacrifice by King Oeneus, she was very angry and she sent the Caledonian boar, and the boar ravaged everything. And the king held a race, and many hunters joined it to hunt the boar, and the winner will get the boar, and it's an honor. And Atlanta also joined the race. And there's Meleager. Meleager, although he was married, but he likes Atlanta, so he make other hunter to include her to hunt the boar together. And after several of men killed by the boar, Atlanta was the first one to hurt the boar. And the final winner is Meleager, but because Meleager liked Atlanta, so he gave the board to Atlanta. But Meleager's uncle is very angry, and Meleager killed his uncle. And Meleager's mother was very sad and angry, and she put the wood into the fire, so Meleager was killed. Okay, let's watch the video.
Once upon a time, in a land far away, a beautiful baby girl was born to the king and queen. They decided to name the precious princess Atalanta. The king had been hoping for a boy to inherit his throne, but as he looked into those wide, adoring eyes, he knew what he had to do. The king regretted that decision for the rest of his life. His wife made sure of it. He never had any more children, and for 20 years the kingdom languished with no hope of an heir. Then news arrived telling of the exploits of a girl named Atalanta. She had survived the fall and had landed in a forested glen. There she was found by a pack of bears who adopted and raised her as one of their own. She became a famous huntress and the fastest runner in all of Greece. None could best her. Hearing of her renown, the king welcomed her back into the palace, for he saw this was his last hope for keeping the throne and the fame. He issued a proclamation to the populace.
A single Greek female seeks studly eligible man from good breeding stock to become hubby and future king. Must get along with parents.
Atalanta was not too keen on the idea, but to make her father happy, she agreed. Only on a certain condition.
Only the man who bests me in a foot race will I marry.
She was confident that no such person existed, for she did not want to get married, but to spend the rest of her days frolicking with the forest critters. The lure of a wealthy kingdom and a healthy girl was great, and many tried, but all failed. This did not go unnoticed. Venus, the goddess of love, was bemused by these earthly events.
This mortal thinks she can avoid me forever. Well, I relish a challenge.
And Venus concocted a plan to beat Atalanta at her own game.
Is there not a man anywhere in the world who can win against my daughter? Please, anybody step forward. Did I mention you get a kingdom? She'll give you a head start. She's not that bad looking. I will. Bless you. You think you can outrun her? No, but I intend to win both the race and her hand in marriage.
I'm sorry, but that's not going to happen. Don't squander your head start.
I've got this race in the bag.
Huh? An apple of gold? Oh, no, you don't.
Welcome to the family.
Young Arete greeted her companions on the terrace of Artemis, goddess of the moon, as dawn broke across the Acropolis, high above the city of ancient Athens. Beneath the statue of Artemis, Arete and her friends chanted their hymns with Melissa, their tutor, and then Melissa instructed them in the rites of the goddess.
Each year, in the month of Eunicion, the 10th month of the Athenian year, when the air is sweet with blossoms of spring, the young girls at Athens make a procession in honor of the goddess. Althea was proud to hear people say, "This is Althea's son. She raised him well, and her labor was not in vain." One year, at harvest time, when Meleager had reached manhood, his father, King Enos, forgot to offer the first fruits of the season to the goddess Artemis. Offended, she sent a huge and savage boar to ravage the crops and cattle of King Enos, to destroy his barns and fields, and chase away anyone who would work for him. Enos quickly dispatched heralds, inviting all the bravest fighters of Greece to come and hunt the boar. And he promised that whoever killed it would possess its awesome pelt and tusks. And so the hunters came to his fortress, and he gave them a feast that was 9 days long to win their loyalty. But none of them knew it was the goddess Artemis herself they were prepared to fight. On the 8th day of feasting, Meleager grew tired of it all and went to the forest, eager to track the boar. But the creature he found there was far more wondrous. As Atalanta ran through the woods, she heard the whine of an arrow as it cut towards her through the air. Quickly she dodged it and spun around to see from whence it sprang. And there was Meleager, frozen in wide-eyed wonder, like a dead man on his feet, unable to believe that the swift creature before him might be human and a woman. She took his bow from him and would not return it, but otherwise she was not angered. She showed him the lore of the forest. But if he wanted to kill a deer or any animal, she stopped him sternly, for she knew more of their ways than of his. Then Meleager led her out of the forest and showed her the destruction wrought by the boar, and so moved with concern for Enos and his people was she, that she gave in to Meleager's urging and agreed to guide him to his lair. The next day, all were struck dumb with wonder at the very sight of Atalanta, and even more so at her abilities. All but Althea. She was afraid of losing her son to a life she could not foresee. She told her brothers, Plexippus and Toxis, of her fears, and kindled their growing jealousy of the brave young maid. The next morning they vowed to Meleager they would not hunt with a woman, and he would have struck them down then and there, but suddenly the savage cry of the giant boar split their ears, rang in the roof beams, and shook the surrounding hills. Astonished by the size of the beast that thundered from the forest, the hunters all scattered and fled, all but one, Atalanta, who watched in sorrow as the boar struck and wounded her new friends. But swiftly, as the boar wheeled around and disappeared again into the forest, she flew into action, while the others, shamed by her bravery, followed soon after. They came upon it in a marsh, and there great Theseus challenged it with his spear. But the godlike creature charged and caught 2 hunters, Onsius and Eurytion, on its razor-sharp tusks, flinging them high overhead in the air. There, as they fell to their deaths, like somersaulting acrobats, the great beast bellowed and shook the earth, spun around and disappeared again deep into the trackless wilderness. No one chased it now, but Atalanta, spurred on by pride, with a speed and a fierceness she had never known, to match the terrible challenge of the beast. Now, for the first time, she tasted the urge to kill and conquer that catches fire in human hearts. Outrun by the matchless Atalanta, the boar raced back with steaming breath and charged huge Telamon, who tripped on the root of a tree. Then it might well have killed him and all of his companions, but Atalanta let fly an arrow as she ran, which lodged behind the great boar's ear, and the beast spun around in a fit of rage. Now Meleager's uncles saw their chance to satisfy their raging envy and their sister Althea's fear, so they let their arrows fly, aiming not for the boar, but instead for Atalanta's heart. But she heard the arrows as they flew, and dodged them all, even as the boar charged down upon her. Just then, swift Meleager came, dove headlong at the rearing beast, and riding it as a strong swimmer rides a great wave, thrust his hand spear deep beneath the creature's shoulder blade to find its heart and take its life. The hide of the boar was still hot and soaked with sweat as Meleager flayed it and held up the pelt to Atalanta. "You drew first blood," he said, "and had I left the beast alone, it soon would have fallen beneath your spear. This trophy belongs to you." But Atalanta was somber and silent. The heat of the chase was melting from her brow, and she saw the life draining from the great creature which lay before her. She knew then that she had killed a messenger of the goddess. Suddenly, Meleager's 2 uncles shouted out, "Why should this wild woman claim what is ours?" By laws of honor, the pelt should go to the closest kin of Venus. After you, we are next in line. Now, quickly, Meleager's temper flared, and letting his love for Atalanta turn to rage, he drew his sword and said, "Will your insults to this daring woman never cease? Then to Hades you can go, along with your quibbling hearts." Althea stood at her window, motionless, while the bodies of her brothers were being carried home, and flames of unquenchable rage began to flicker deep in her heart. Then all at once, she went mad, and rushing to her chamber, she dashed to the chest where lay the half-burned log that had charmed Meleager's life these many years. Covered with dust it lay, a year of dust for every year of Meleager's life. Driven thoughtless by frenzy, she snatched out the log and ran to the hearth, where she cast it upon the smoldering embers. She knelt and coaxed the flames to life with her own breath. And she could hear Meleager cry out nearby, as pain scorched his heart, and the life in him ebbed as surely as the flames devoured the log. Then she knew that Atropos had cut the thread of his life, and mad with grief in her deed, she staggered into the great empty hall where the warriors had feasted. There she took her own life.
No more video. Yeah, go straight.
And now I will introduce the character of Foot's the first character is the main character. She called Atalanta. She is a virgin huntress and unwilling to marry, but she swore to marry the one who can win her in the forest. Okay, next is Hippomenes, the one who wins Atalanta, and he also known as Melanion, the son of Arcadian Amphidamas, and the husband of Atalanta. Next, we go to Iasus. Iasus is Atalanta's father, who left her in the mountain because she is not the boy, so he left her in the mountain. And next is Aphrodite. Aphrodite is the goddess of love, beauty, and pleasure, and progression. And she has the golden apple, the representation of the most beautiful goddess. And next is Chonius. Chonius is the king who promised Atalanta can kill the loser in forest. And next we go to the second story. It's called about Caledonian Board. The main character called Meleager. The main character called Meleager, a hero who ventured in Caledon. And when he was born, the goddess said he could only live until this piece of wood burning off. And next is Althea. Althea is Meleager's mother, the queen of Caledon. Okay. Next is Morai. It's also known as the Bat. And their number fixed at 3. And they control everyone's life from birth to death. Next is the most important animal. It's called Caledon's boar, and one of the monsters of Greek mythology. This one is Aeneas. Aeneas is the Caledon's king, Caledonia's king, and the middle picture is Artemis. Artemis is the goddess of huntsmen and nature, and she has the ability to talk to animal and control animal. And she also is Apollo's sister. And the right picture is the two uncles who fight with Meleager for the board. Okay, next is drama time.
Atalanta's father was very disappointed that Atalanta was now a boy. So he left Atalanta alone in the mountain.
Why you were not a boy? Don't blame me.
Oh, and I'm there.
Oh, poor baby. Where were your parents? I will take care of you.
After a few years, the baby grew up into an active, darling little girl. One day, a hunter found Atalanta alone and brought her home.
Oh, girl. Oh, cute girl. Cute girl. I will told you how to be a good hunter. Like, repeat at me. Pew. Okay, good.
After day, Atalanta became a good hunter. At the same time, in another country, Calydon, the queen had born a baby, Meleager. When the baby was just a week old, the fat had appeared to his mother and threw a wood into the fire, burning in her chamber. And the fat said,
To you, a newborn baby, we grant you a gift to live until the wood turn into age. Oh no!
After the fat said, the queen put out the fire right away and hid it in a chest. Day by day, Meleager grew up. One day, the king forgot to give a present to the god Diane. The god was very angry.
How dare you forget my present? You're such an idiot. I will punish you.
Who can catch this boar? I will give you many money.
Okay. At the same time, Meleager gathered many heroes to catch the boar. Atalanta
I will
join this group.
catch you. Kill it! Too bad!
You bad boy!
Okay.
Let's kill him!
Okay, we catch this bad boar.
Because Meleager fell in love with Atalanta, so he gave the dead boar to the Atalanta.
Let's take his head.
Okay, this is his head. Okay. Purple head. Yes.
Okay.
And I will give you this, and you can give this head to a king, and you can. Why?
No, you can't.
This is for Atalanta.
Are you?
No, it's for us. No, this is for her.
No, you
Give us.
It is for me. The hand belongs to me.
No, it's you can't take it.
Why?
You are stupid.
I killed the
Stupid
boy.
uncle.
Stupid uncle.
I will kill you.
I will kill you.
Where my sword?
Take your sword.
No. Okay. Atalanta, this is for you.
Okay.
Go.
After the queen heard the news that her brothers was died, she was very sad about the death of her brothers. So she started to think to end off the life of her son.
Mother, sorry.
I kill your brother.
My poor son. I can't make a choice, so I want to kill you. No, and don't worry, I will go with you. No.
After the matter, more and more people knew Atalanta, and a number of men wanted to marry her because she could hunt and shoot and wrestle.
Who want to marry me? You! No! You! No, go away. You too ugly. You no money. Go! I run fast. Maybe someone who can win me in the foot race, and I will marry him. Are you sure?
Yes.
I'm pretty fast.
Go. Come on. One, two, three, go!
But no one got hurt, so
Okay, you are out.
everyone was
And you
lost.
are out.
At last, one who used his head as well as his heels came.
Atalanta run too fast. I think I cannot win her, so I have a plan.
Melania went to
Dear
ask
God, can you help me to win the Atalanta? She runs too fast.
Oh, okay. You're such a poor guy. I will help you. These 3 golden apples may help you so much.
Thank you. 3 apples. Atalanta,
Yes.
I want to challenge you.
You vs me.
Yes,
You will lose.
if I win you.
What?
Yes. If I won you, you marry
Impossible.
me. If I lost you, I marry you. Okay?
No. No. I don't want to marry you.
Don't say too much.
No. No.
Let's go.
No.
A golden apple? Yes. Hey! Golden apple? Oh! Another golden apple? Yes, I win!
because the 3 golden apples helped, the boy won the race.
Don't too sad. Marry me, you will happiness. The end.